Installing the front center fairing section on a street glide model. You want to make sure everything's good and clean, soaked up, all the surrounding areas so you don't have any dust that's floating or sliding down in here. Make sure your hands are clean. Take the pattern piece and make sure and lay it on here so you know exactly how it's going to fit. Familiarize with that. Then it's a matter of removing this piece. So when you're removing the film from the liner, you want to make sure everything's good and wet. Take your time. You'll pull it back a little bit. Make sure and get everything wet. You do not want to leave this dry because one, you get static as you pull this off, and it will start drawing dust onto it. But when it's wet, the dust will not stick. We're just going to continue to remove it, keeping it good and wet. So at this point, again, it's very wet. You want to make sure this front fairing piece is wet. You just want to make sure everything is soapy and wet. You don't want any dry spots. Overly spray. On the wetter, the better, absolutely. So now you're just going to lay this on there. Again, make sure it's floating. If it seems like it's sticking somewhere, then you may not have got enough fluid right there, so it's not wet. And then you're just gonna kind of make sure that it's the same side to side. Everything looks the same distance. Then you're just gonna slowly start squeegeeing out the liquid. I'm just almost letting the weight of the squeegee push out the water. You don't want to aggressively squeegee at this point. Just getting out the kind of big sections of water down this center. We're just going to come all the way down. Go ahead and you want to spray the top with that soapy water so that the squeegee will slide nicely. Now I'm applying just a little more pressure, kind of to get this little V completely done. Then we're going to deal with these, what we call fingers, down here at the bottom in a second. But this inner panel is what we're focused on right now. So that triangle right there is good to go. And again, make sure everything's wet when you're squeegeeing. Now what you're going to do, to get these fingers out, you're basically just going to pull, and you'll see how it takes those little fingers away. But when we pull that, if we tack it down, it'll slide right back because the soap is slippery. So this is where we'll use an alcohol mix. Just on these little tips right here, just that little tip right there. Then you pull it kind of down around the corner while you're squeegeeing out towards that point. And that'll stay so it won't get pulled back up. Again, that is good. And then just the same, just start working your way up and out. If you have any bubbles in this little groove, make sure and bring those back up so they don't migrate down into this area that's already done. I'm just turning it over. There was a little bit of liquid here, so if you turn the squeegee over, you can get a little more aggressive squeege, so to speak. So that's looking good right there. What I'll do also is take a little bit of alcohol and just spray along here so that when we squeegee that out, that's tacked also. You don't want any liquid seeping back into this relief cut and down under your film. That's it. Now, as far as this little edge right here, just going to hit it with a little more soap. And then just kind of working from this way out, I'm just going to Squeegeeing. Out to that point. Now, if you do get any fingers that pop up, any of these little, what we call fingers popping up anywhere, you would just hit them with a little bit of alcohol spray and squeegee them out. Now we'll move over to this side here. Now that this has been sitting, it's kind of tacked down, so I'm going to go ahead and soap it up around the edges and lift it and go ahead and get some soap back up underneath there. Now the same process. To get these fingers out, we're going to use a little alcohol on this tip. And again, that's just washing out the soap so that when we pull this tight and lay it down, it sticks. Now we can go ahead and squeegee that out. Looking good. I'm going to put a little alcohol right in this trough, just so, and you can see it drying up, just so that nothing, again, migrates underneath that centerpiece, which is really nice and smooth right now. And then it's just a matter of using overlapping strokes, so you're not leaving any area unsqueegeed, so to speak. And then we're just gonna go ahead and move everything kind of out and away. And again, if the top starts getting dry at all, hit it with some soapy water, just to give it a slippery surface for the squeegee to work on. Now we got a finger right here that's not wanting to lay down, so we're just gonna put a little alcohol under there. I'm gonna actually just put a little alcohol just under that whole edge, just barely, like a ½ inch, not all the way back in, just the very edge of it. And I'm going to kind of work everything out towards this point. And that's it. Again, look around, see if there's anywhere that needs alcohol. I'm hitting it with the alcohol anyways. There's a little finger up front here. So let me go ahead and zip that down. We are good. So now I'm going to take a dry towel and wipe it down. You want to make sure and wipe almost the same way you were squeegeeing. So you want to start kind of in the middle and wipe out, because you don't want to accidentally catch one of these edges with your towel coming the wrong direction and roll it back, and your towel lint gets under the film into the adhesive. So again, just kind of lightly go outward the same way that you had squeegeed all the fluids out. And that's pretty much it. Again, if any fingers pop up, you can even use a dry towel to, like where that finger was here, to just push that down. And then any spots, if you see little spots where there's a little air, just the water, the soapy solution is trying to escape out right there. You can use a dry towel or just set it in the sun for a little bit. Those will get where they're really tacky, and you can just barely press them down with your finger and they're good to go. But for that is protected. No more rock chips or anything in that big area right there. CruzArmor.